there comes a time during each season for every respectable NFL team out there, or teams that go on to do big things, that there's a turning point. There's a point where things just hit different. And I think one, you can make the argument that one of those moments was week 2 for the Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles, where they just got smacked around. It did not matter. They got smacked around. And I think that, yes, you can make that argument for that game being a turning point for the Vikings. You can probably also make another argument about the Cowboys game or the Bills game. Maybe I get it, or maybe even the Lions game getting exposed there as well. But I really believe this game against the Green Bay Packers is the turning point for the Minnesota Vikings, because you find yourself in a spot where you are the number one, the number one contender in the NFC North right now. We understand all of that. And plus we also understand the fact that, this is really just getting started. Like, you've still got these last 2 games that have huge playoff ramifications, by the way, that really nobody is talking about right now. But at the same time, especially where it pertains to the NFC, you've got everybody on your heels. So yes, you've got the Philadelphia Eagles, who have the number 1 seed. You've got the Vikings with the number 2 seed, and then you also have teams that are coming up on the bubble right now. You've got, you've got the Packers, you've got the Lions in your division. You've also got the Commanders, the Giants, teams that you've beaten before that are right there with you. But the Packers are arguably the biggest threat to me. You talk about the fact they've won 3 straight. Aaron Rodgers and company, like, they are looking every bit as a threat. And this division is just, it doesn't get any more competitive than this. I don't care what anybody says, because at the end of the day, you have so many different things going on in this division, and I really feel like the Vikings, there's no room for slip-ups. In fact, this needs to be treated like perhaps the most important game of the season this year. So, and again, I know even if you lose, I'm going to go ahead and knock on wood here. Even if you lose, you still have one more game against the Bears where you can kind of tidy things up. There's a lot of things up in the air right now with Justin Jefferson potentially going to get the record right now. But there needs to be no mistake. This is the turning point right now for the Minnesota Vikings, because you have to, especially with the way that you played against the Packers week 1, you have to dash all dreams right now. I think that, I think especially since they've clinched a spot in the playoffs right now, a lot of people are already thinking, okay, who are we going to play in the playoffs? No. This is perhaps the biggest game of the season, because you have this young, a guy in Christian Watson that's coming around for the Packers. Also Romeo Doubs has been a huge part of this offense. Aaron Rodgers is looking a lot better over these last couple of games. They've got a running game that is something to be reckoned with, and that defense has certainly stepped up, and it needs its respect right now. So I would argue that this is perhaps the biggest game of the season for the Minnesota Vikings. I know that at the end of the day, they've went into those tight situations. They pulled out a lot of wins in those 1-score games, I will admit that, but there needs to be no doubt that this is perhaps the biggest game, especially with so much on the line, moving forward into the playoffs, the ramifications that could come from this game, and everything and beyond. This needs to be the turning point, if you ask me. This team needs to go from winning these close games to just blowing out teams, and I think that this is the game to really do it. But let us know what you guys think, and make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com, or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Green Bay Packers matchup needing to be the turning point for the Minnesota Vikings.